Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream match reaction from Chelsea's Carabao Cup exit and just loads of general chat about all things Chelsea. I'm back from Newcastle, long trip, not a successful trip, probably not a worthwhile trip, to be perfectly honest, but you can't win them all. Although the fallout from this one feels like there's a lot of people disappointed, feels like we didn't treat the competition with respect. Felt like it was a game that we could have done without. It was an inconvenience. If there was an option to forfeit that match, then Chelsea probably would have taken it. It's clear that it wasn't high on the priorities, but I don't understand why it wasn't high on the priorities. You know, we haven't won a domestic trophy since 2018. Yes, okay, we're in the Conference League, but domestically, this is the easiest chance to win a trophy. You know, if you win last night, you take it more seriously. We would have, well, as it transpired, we would have had Brentford at home in the quarterfinals, and then you're potentially 3 games from Wembley. And you know, we're not in a position to be sacrificing trophies. If you're competing for the Champions League, if you're competing for the league title, it's a different thing. You know, you hear people saying, "Oh yeah, but Man City went out," and no one's saying anything about that. What an utterly ridiculous comparison to make, because Man City have been winning for years and years and years. They're going for the league title, and they're one of the favourites for the Champions League. So if they go out the League Cup, it doesn't really matter. What are we doing? We're not competing for the league title. We're okay, Conference League, fine, and we're competing for the top 4. And I'm hearing people saying to me, "Oh yeah, but that, like, you know, we need to finish in the top 4, so you know we have to sacrifice the Carabao Cup." It's like, it's not one or the other. The two don't have to be the two aren't mutually exclusive. You can do both. You telling me that we have to go out of the Carabao Cup in October to ensure that we finish in the top 4? It's just nonsense. It's just utter nonsense in my view. It's such an Arsenal mentality. It's such a loser's mentality to have. And I don't understand why people in this fan base have got this loser mentality that seems to be creeping in. You know, I really don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. All trophies should be respected, particularly when we've won nothing since 2018 on the domestic stage. Yes, the Champions League is important. We need to get back in there from a business perspective, attracting players, keeping players at the club, because that's part of the project and whatnot. But, you know, there's no trophy for top 4. We're in big danger here. People within this fan base saying, like, becoming, you know, parading top 4 as a trophy. That is a slippery slope to go down. Slippery slope to go down. And it is a loser's mentality, which needs to be stamped out as soon as possible. It really does. Brother, why does that? Like, you're not getting it. Why do you think that if we win the Carabao Cup, that means we can't get the top 4? Why do you think it means that? It absolutely doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. And at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned as a fan, I am trophies over top 4 every single day of the week, and twice on Sundays, just to make sure, because it's what it's about. You play football to win trophies, the silverware, you know, for the fans, the days out when you win the trophies at Wembley or wherever it might be. You know, no one's sitting back at the end of the season thinking, or looking back in years to come, "Oh, wasn't it great when we finished 4th in the 24-25 season? What a fantastic time that was." Nah, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. But like, the fact that you're saying that it's best not to win trophies is madness. Utter madness. There's no way you genuinely believe that. Absolutely no way. Hopefully we get to FA Cup final this season. Well, that's a long way to go on that front. A long way to go. Let's wait and see what happens. Obviously, you know, the Carabao Cup, the round of the 16, I get it. You can sort of potentially get away with it by going out. But if we get to the FA Cup and, you know, we're playing Premier League opposition and he starts playing, you know, heavily rotated, heavily weakened teams, then it's going to be a problem. We're not a team that is in a position to be disrespecting and disregarding trophies. And I'm sorry, but last night was a blatant, you know, disrespect of a very good opportunity to win a trophy. And, you know, we're used to winning trophies. We haven't won anything since 2021. And you've got people in the fan base saying it's fine to sacrifice that. like it's honestly loser mentality of the highest order, the highest order. By the way, big up to everyone that's locked in as well, guys. Make sure you're smashing the likes as well, people. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you are new round here as well. That would be greatly appreciated, guys. We only got 18 in the building so far. Hopefully, it will pick up with a few more people tuning in. That would be great. But yeah, make sure you're smashing the likes, guys. Let's run these likes up. Let's get it to at least 50 likes minimum if we can. Say if we can, we are going to do that. And yeah, let's keep it going. Things must change for the FA Cup. I agree. Want to trade for this season? Yep. Reality check. Our defense is a serious attention. A team or B team. Yeah, look, the defense is not good enough. Simply not good enough. Yeah, but I'll be honest. There's some good people on Twitter, but generally speaking, Twitter is not great to go to for if you're looking for, intelligent football takes. Anyone that is that prioritizes top four over winning trophies is deluded. He just doesn't get it. Just doesn't get it at all. So yeah, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. I cannot understand that mentality. I cannot understand that way of thinking. Not wanting to win trophies as a fan. It's unbelievable that. I just hope Maresca has learned from this, trying to stay positive, and I really want a strong win against United. Well, I think we all want that. Yep, and again, this is another thing that annoyed me. I understand it. Look, we all were fully aware that changes were going to be made. We all know changes were going to be made, but I wasn't expecting like 11 changes to be made. And if you're going to make that many changes, at least be in a situation, guys, where you can call on the bench. You're telling me that Jackson can't play like twice in 3 days. You're telling me that these guys can't play twice a week because, they might get injured. Well, in that case, if people are saying that, people will be moaning if they played and they got injured. So we're just going to do that in every cup game. And we're not going to play players because they might get injured. So we might as well just not play anyone then. We might as well just forfeit all cup competitions. I'm baffled at why Malo Gusto wasn't even in the squad. I'm baffled as to why there was no Nicholas Jackson, no Caicedo, no Gusto on the bench, no Pedro Neto on the bench. And, I was even more baffled by the fact that Maresca took Cole Palmer all the way to Newcastle and had zero intentions of using him. What a complete and utter waste of time for Cole. What a complete waste of time. Why bring him? Why bring him? And then afterwards he says, I didn't put him on because Felix and Nkunku were doing really well. No, they weren't. I don't know what game you were watching, brother, but they absolutely weren't. So, look, Maresca's had a great start to the season. Things are going well. This is not going to derail our season. This is not going to dent our confidence for United and the upcoming Premier League games. But what it is, in my view, is the first kind of black mark against Maresca this season, because he has basically just given up on this trophy. Like it doesn't matter. You could tell that by the team selection. You could tell that by his use of subs. You could just tell all rounds that it was a game that they didn't really want to play, and it's a competition they don't really care about. It's not important, and they were more than happy to go out. Both teams got what they wanted from these two fixtures. We got the 3 points in the league and the League Cup. For a team like Newcastle, yes, they've got Champions League aspirations and whatnot, but they want to win silverware. So ultimately, it probably worked out how we expected it to work. How we expected it to work out in terms of we win the league game, they win the cup game. I mean, our record there is not good either. That's now 3 defeats in the last 3 visits there in all competitions. We've only scored 1 goal in our last 3 visits in all competitions to St James's. So yeah, it's a difficult place to go. But I'll be honest, guys, the writing was on the wall as soon as the lineup came out. I'm seeing Keane and Dewsbury Hall take a lot of flack, and I think it's a little bit unfair. You're playing a number 8 as a right winger, and I had people sitting behind me saying, "Oh, why is he not taking anyone on?" You're expecting a central midfield player to take players on when he's playing as a right winger, when he's a central midfield player. You're expecting him to do that direct one-on-one wing play. Of course, he was always going to play it backwards or play it inside. Like that simply did not work. So look, Dewsbury Hall didn't have a good game, but I think it's very harsh to be criticising him for that. I think it's very, very harsh indeed for that criticism for Dewsbury Hall. He wasn't good, but he was played out of position. What were people expecting him to do on the right wing? I don't think Enzo Fernandez had a good game. I don't think Vega had a good game either. I thought Felix was particularly poor. Nkunku wasn't good. No one was good, really. I mean, I thought Madueke was probably the best player for us. He played about 20 minutes. Mudryk was actually okay. He arguably could have had a couple of assists if the finishing was a bit better. So yeah, this is kind of where we're at. And look, it's not a disaster. There's no Maresca hate or anything like that. I'm just really disappointed with how we just disregarded that competition like it didn't matter, like we're title contenders, like we're Champions League contenders. I thought that was really, really poor yesterday on all fronts. To just chuck that away like it doesn't matter, like we've got more important things to fight for, is really poor in my book. Really, really poor. But what are you lot saying in the chat? I just hope Maresca has learned from this, trying to stay positive, and I really want a strong win against United. Yeah, look, in the grand scheme of things, when we look back at this on the end of the season, I don't think we're probably going to be talking about it. We're not going to be talking about it come next week. But right now, it's a disappointment. It is a disappointment for sure. But at the end of the day, if we win the Conference League and we finish top 4, no one's going to be talking about going out of the League Cup early. But we have just gone out. It's fresh in the mind, and it's I think we've approached it in completely the wrong way, which is the most disappointing thing. Yeah, I think it's a huge issue, right? And I know, I get it. I'm fully aware that Reece James and Lavia were never going to play this game. We know that, and Fofana, we know they're only playing once a week whilst they get themselves back up to full fitness. But the fact that we're seemingly wrapping players in cotton wool, like Jackson, like Gusto, like Caicedo, Neto, etc. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You're telling me that those guys couldn't have been on the bench? Why couldn't they have been on the bench? There's no reason other than you weren't bothered by it. It was a clear indication that this game wasn't important. It was an inconvenience. We could have done without it. We're just going to leave a load of guys at home. I'm going to make one sub. I'm not interested in how we're doing, and then I'm going to come out afterwards and say that we played. Going to say that we played quite well. That's basically what's happened. That's basically what's happened. Yeah, Badiashile and Disasi were poor. They weren't the only ones, but yeah, the 2 goals we conceded, by the way, were an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. And it's 3 games in a row now, guys. 3 games in a row where a completely needless error by a goalkeeper who wasn't under much pressure has really, given a team energy, galvanized them, got the home fans going. And it needs sorting out. It needs sorting out. Just go long. It's very, very simple. Just go long. But Jorgensen had an opportunity yesterday to put pressure on Sanchez, and he was absolutely dreadful. He was absolutely shocking. He had an opportunity to put pressure on him, and he was awful. He was absolutely awful. So, his distribution was poor, playing people into trouble. All the defenders were doing it. The passing from pretty much everyone in the first half was atrocious. It was like we'd forgotten how to play football. It was that bad. But even having said that, we did have a couple of opportunities. I mean, if you're 2-0 down and you're someone like Carney Chukwuemeka, for example, and you're getting no minutes, why? Why would you we're losing anyway. Why would you not just put those guys on to give them some minutes? What is the point in making players travel to Newcastle if you're not going to use them? There's literally no point at all. And I think, again, the concerning thing for me is that out of that team that played yesterday, and I don't count Cucurella in the B team because he is a first team player, no one really yesterday made any case to suggest that they should be playing in the A team, as it were. Not one player made a case, that they should be knocking on the door for the 18. No one did themselves any favours. And that for me is a concern. This is a big opportunity for a lot of those players, and no one covered themselves in glory, and no one gave Maresca food for thought in terms of, knocking on the door for Premier League minutes. That's really shit. Really, really shit in my view. It just not good. Just not good whatsoever. This is the point. Like, yeah, okay, it's probably the least prestigious of trophies. I get that, of the ones that are available, but you can't just be chucking trophies away. That's what's annoyed me the most, is the amount of Chelsea fans I'm seeing that are happy to sacrifice the trophy. Amount of Chelsea fans I'm seeing that think that we have to sacrifice a cup competition in October to make sure we finish in the top four. It doesn't sit well with me. Doesn't sit well with me at all. And you can't do that. You can't do it. Look, against sort of third-rate European sides, it's not a problem. But to do that away at a difficult place to go against a decent side that pretty much went full strength, it was only ever going to end in one way. This was the first big test for the B team, and they failed emphatically. We got humbled. We got exactly what we deserved. We deserved absolutely nothing from that game, even though we created chances. I don't think we played particularly well, and it was one of those. It was one of those, wasn't it, where nothing went right. Maybe on another day, if there's VAR, maybe one of those goals gets ruled out. Maybe we get a penalty up the other end. But this is ifs and buts. At the end of the day, we got what we deserved. We weren't good enough, and yeah, it was a bad day, and we've got to make sure that we put this right on Sunday, because if you're going to do that and then you're going to go and lose on Sunday as well, then that becomes a really big issue. It becomes a really big issue if people are doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't be doing that, guys. We cannot be doing that. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Only way I overlooked last night is a good win against United. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with all those points. Yeah, look, some people always go to the extreme, but I think it's a perfectly fair and valid thing to say that Maresca got everything completely wrong and last night, and Chelsea should be showing more respect to a competition and because we haven't won a domestic cup since 2018, and we just threw that. So yeah, that for me is a problem. I don't think he was caught out. It just didn't matter to him. That's the reality. It was clear as day through his choices, through team selection, through the way that he managed the game, that this wasn't important, and that's a worry. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't care about winning trophies. That would be a ridiculous thing to say. But in regards to the Carabao Cup, he wasn't fussed. He wasn't bothered at all, and that for me is really disappointing. I agree with Maresca's choices are very questionable from the lineup he picked to the bench he took. Yep, exactly that. That was the most worrying thing for me on this one, Sportcat, is that Jorgensen's performance yesterday actually made Sanchez look all right. Now, Jorgensen, look, we don't know enough about Jorgensen, but he's not done anything in his performances to really close the gap on Sanchez in any way whatsoever. Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent as well, and we are gonna dive into that point as well. We are absolutely going to dive into that. No doubt about it. We will dive in, guys. Maresca worked under a serial winner in Pep, and you think that would have rubbed off on him, but clearly not. No, I think it's harsh to say he's got a loser mentality just off the back of that. Let's wait and see what happens in the other competitions. But yeah, from someone that's been around winning dressing rooms as a player and a coach and whatnot, it is very disappointing to see that sort of just dismissive attitude about about a trophy that we should be aiming to win, and we absolutely weren't aiming to win that, and that's the most disappointing thing. Like, bro, I think we're perfectly entitled to be pissed off about being knocked out of a cup that was winnable for us, because the manager and the players didn't really give a fuck about it. That you're entitled to be annoyed about that. No, he's not been. I don't think he's been demoted. I think Maresca was just trying a few tactical things. I'd be surprised if Cucurella didn't start on Sunday. Although I mean, although he could go again with the Reece James left back thing, or Gusto at left back. I don't really know what he's going to do on that front. Neto is the only one to have shown that so far. Yep. Yeah, bro. It's yeah. We got to be honest here. It's a tough watch, guys. Make sure you're smashing the likes, please. Let's run it up. We're 38 in the building. Not amazing numbers, but hopefully it'll continue to grow. But big up to everyone that is locked in. It's greatly appreciated. Make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. We're here always. Even if there's not many people here, the show must go on. Got to get that consistency going. But yeah, make sure you're running it up, guys. Make sure you are running it up. Look, brother, I mean, I don't think the sporting directors have got anything to do with keeping Badiashile or Disasi. Yes, they were the ones that obviously signed them, and it's not looking like it's been particularly good business. Of course we could have done. Of course we could have done. Why couldn't we win the Carabao Cup? Why not? For me, I don't get that. Look, I don't think it was a mistake signing Dewsbury Hall. It just didn't really seem particularly necessary at the time. And I don't know what's going to happen with Dewsbury Hall next season. I think last night for me on Dewsbury Hall was unfair. He was playing right wing. He's a central midfield player. I don't really know what people were expecting. I think Maresca kind of hung him out to dry a little bit on that one. And we're going to get onto Felix later. Maresca proved me wrong so far until last night when he went down, in my estimation. Was literally no need or logic to rest players. Look, I get you're going to make some rotation, but he went too far of the rotation in my view. And then on top of that, there was no one on the bench. So that for me was an issue. No one on the bench. It was poor. This is my point. You get to the quarterfinals and you're 3 games away from Wembley. If we'd won last night, we're 3 wins. We're 3 games away from Wembley. So yeah, it's just a big disappointment, guys. It's just a big disappointment. But what can you do? What can you do? I think a lot of the B team players are not happy they're in the B team. Well, no, of course, people aren't going to be happy because they want to be playing. They want to be playing in the Premier League. They want to be playing in the, in the first team. They don't want to just be cup players. And Maresca has always said you've got to make the most of your opportunities. And I don't think anyone last night put themselves any closer to being in contention to be starting in the Premier League. It just simply didn't happen. No, bro, this is the thing though. Like I'd rather get to a final, even if you end up losing the final. Then, that's that. Fine. But I'd rather get to a final when you got a chance to win. And like, why would you say that you'd rather get knocked out now than get to a final? I don't understand that. But who says it's going to be Liverpool in the final? And why can't we? Why can't we? In that case, we might as well not bother making any domestic finals because we might lose to Liverpool. It's nonsense. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I really don't see how being annoyed about basically giving up on a cup competition when we've not won a domestic cup since 2018 is being looked upon as an unpopular opinion. You know, for me, it's a loser's mentality, like that's creeping in, where a lot of this fan base are treating top four like a trophy. You know, it's let's hoist our top four up at the end of the season. That's going to be great. You know what? Why can't you win a trophy and finish in the top four? Why has it got to be one or the other? No one says anything like that, and it's a Spurs mentality, it's an Arsenal mentality, and we don't want to be going down that road. It is a Spursy mentality to have that. It's an Arsenal-like mentality to have, and that's not what we're doing. That is not what we should be doing at all. And I personally really struggling to understand it. No, Amarim's not coming until after the November international break. No, bro, if you're fine, like as a fan, how can you be fine with being knocked out of cup competitions? Like it's fine, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Um, you know, last night was unacceptable in my view. You know, it was the first time Maresca's got everything wrong, and this was a good opportunity to win a trophy. Arguably the easiest opportunity to win a trophy because it's the fewest games to the final. I'm sure we'll learn from this, and look, we'll find out in the FA Cup whether he's gonna do the same thing or not. So let's wait and see. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that Palmer had to start, but if you're 2-0 down, you should throw him on for 20 minutes. You know, I think Malo Gusto should have started. I think it was a big mistake to play Disasi at right back. I feel that probably Levi Colwell should have started as well. Caicedo should have been in the squad. Jackson should have been in the squad. Neto should have been in the squad. You know, we had no options to change the game from the bench. Zero. You know, so yeah, that was problematic. Well, it's the owner's fault. Is it the owner's fault? Is it that we lost last night? Was it the owner's fault that Maresca, disregarded the Carabao Cup? That's the owner's fault, is it? What are we doing here? How is it the owner's fault? Yes, and with three different teams. You know why does that mean that we shouldn't get to the final because we might lose Liverpool again, so let's go out in the fourth round instead? What sort of ridiculous thinking is that? Yeah, brother, I don't know. I don't know is the honest opinion on that one. Yeah, I don't know, but it is what it is now. It's done, isn't it? So there we go. No, he's not going to be sold in January. He's not going to be sold in January. But yeah, look, it is disappointing for sure. It is disappointing. But yeah, there's no point in keep going on and on and on about it. But I think Santos will do the season. Yeah, look, there's no denying we've got good squad depth, right? There's good strength in depth and there's good options. But to hail the B team as unbelievable after playing Barrow, Ghent, and Panathinaikos is a little bit wide of the mark. I think there's a lot of players, and look, we shouldn't judge them on one game, but the first decent level of opposition that this B team's faced, we've kind of folded like a deck chair, and it's not been great at all. Not been great at all. We have folded like a deck chair, and it's not what you want, is it, guys? It's not what you want. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, people. Guys, there's 45 in the building now, a few more creeping in. People, make sure you keep smashing the like button. We're 20 likes away from 50. Let's get this to at least 50 likes. That's got to be the absolute minimum, guys. So please make sure you are smashing that like button. Yep, absolutely agree on that. Yeah, sure. It's always going to hurt more losing in a final, but I'd rather make finals where I've got a chance of winning the trophy than saying, "Oh, let's go out early so that we don't get hurt if we lose the final." That's just nonsense. Yes, what you're not understanding is, I know we lost to Liverpool. If we've lost to Liverpool in 3 finals, that doesn't mean that every final we play against Liverpool we're going to lose. That doesn't mean that. But let's have a look, guys. There's so much coming in the chat. Yeah, but if you yeah, but in that case, let's not play any decent players in cup ties then, because someone might get injured. That's why you've got a squad. You know, I get it. You know, people might say, "Oh, if someone gets injured, oh, it's pointless. Why did he play him in this game?" But at the same time, I'd rather be it still in the competition and have to use someone else or whatever, than just be on the trail of thought where, oh, let's not play any of these guys in the cup in case they get injured. Yeah, the players out of position thing was irritating. Dewsbury Hall on right wing was ridiculous. And then Vega in midfield didn't work, and then obviously Disasi at right back has never worked. But you know, it seems to persist with it. Yeah, but bro, so you're just saying don't ever play anyone that's in the first team in the cups because they might get injured. Well, let's just forfeit the FA Cup then before we've even entered it. You know, what's the point? What is the point? Let's forfeit that then before we've even entered it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the support. Thank you. August and the Sassy Toast and Better no, look, I think it's good. It's good options. You know, Badia Shield's not been. Badia Shield is a good player, but I don't know what's happened to him. He's just not performing well. Vega's only just come here, so I think it's very hard. I think it's harsh to write off players that have just arrived like Vega and Jorgensen. We don't know enough about them. Yes, and I'd rather be in a final regardless of what the chances are. You always want to be making finals. Yeah, like why you wouldn't want to be making finals is beyond me. Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. We clearly didn't want it. You know, that's where we're at here, guys. We clearly didn't want it. You know, we clearly didn't want it. And that for me is a problem that we didn't really seem to want it. You fight to win every game and you fight to win every trophy. And yeah, that was the most disappointing thing. No, exactly. It has no impact on us doing well in the league. You know, people saying that we needed to go out yesterday so that we can focus on coming in the top four is ridiculous, utterly ludicrous. You know, it's I just don't get it. You know, you don't need to exit the Carabao Cup in October to make sure you finish in the top four. Makes zero sense in my view. Makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Zero sense at all. What else have we got going on here? Chelsea's about winning trophies. Yep, I agree on that. I've never experienced this mentality as a Chelsea supporter. Never. I agree. I agree with you on that front. Yes, but that's not a reason to not want to do well and get to finals. Yeah, this is something that I just won't ever understand. I just won't understand it. You know, why we would be doing something like that? Why would we be doing something like that is yeah, is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me, guys. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So yeah, there we go, people. There we go on that front. FA Cup's not out of reach at all. It's not out of reach, but it will be out of reach if we take the piss and make multiple rotations. It absolutely will be out of reach. Bro, what are you talking about? It's not the owner's fault that we went out last night. You know, it's not the owner's fault that Maresca decided to make 11 changes. That Maresca decided this game wasn't really important. Jackson, Casado, Gusto should have been on the bench. Yeah, they absolutely should have been. I'll be honest, the Wembley record's not good. It isn't good. You know, the last time we won a trophy that was 2018 domestically. We lost the 29. We lost the League Cup final under Surrey. We lost the League Cup final under Tuchel. We've lost the League Cup final under Pochettino, and we've lost 3. We're winless in our last 6 finals at Wembley. I think just off the top of my head. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Some people don't think it's an issue that we're throwing trophies, and they think that acting like top 4's a trophy. I want to be in a Champions League, but if it was a case of winning the FA Cup or finishing 4th, as a fan, I would rather win the FA Cup than finish 4th, because I want to be celebrating trophies and winning trophies. That's what it's. That's what this is about, guys. This is why you follow your team up and down the country, because you want to see them win. You want to see them get trophies. And if you get in the top 4 as well, that's great. But for me, it's about the trophies. You want those trophies. That's where we're at here. Get me those trophies at the end of the day. That's what I'm wanting. Yeah, of course. And look, look. This right now is obviously is a conversation point. But as I said earlier, come the end of the season, no one's really going to be talking about, oh, we went out in the Carabao Cup in the 4th round, providing we can win the Conference League and finish in the top 4. If we do those 2 things, then this is kind of irrelevant, and this will pass, and this will be irrelevant, very quickly, because we've got all eyes on Sunday now with the Man United game. So yeah, it's obviously, yeah, it's annoying, but it will soon be forgotten about, because we've got a big game to very quickly shift our focus onto, which is exactly what we need to do. Exactly what we need to do. Shift our focus onto that game. And it's it's a big one. It's a big one at that. But yeah, just disappointing on so many fronts. Disappointing on so many fronts, guys. We are 13 likes away from 50. Come on, people. Let's get it to 50 likes. That should be the bare minimum, guys. The bare minimum. So make sure this is getting to 50 likes. It would be greatly appreciated. So please make sure that you are doing that. Please make sure you're doing that. It's quick, easy, takes seconds to do. And yeah, I would really appreciate it, people. So make sure that you are doing that. Make sure you are doing that, guys. What are we on now? 39. We're 10 more. Come on, guys. 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Bro, I'm always worried about going to Old Trafford, because our record there is so poor. So poor. I don't care who's in charge. I don't care where they are in the table. I don't care how good or how bad we've been. Going to Old Trafford is always difficult for us. No win there in what, 12 years? No, over 10 years. Last win 2013. Yeah, it's been tricky. No, and I think this shows that in the latter rounds of the Conference League, we won't be able to make 11 changes. If we come up against a Fiorentina or a Real Betis, for me, we're not going to be able to win those games if we make 11 changes. Yeah, we look. That's what we have to do now. We have to win Sunday. If we don't win Sunday off the back of this, then yeah, it's it's an issue, absolutely an issue. We don't win Sunday off the back of this one. So yeah, I don't know what's really going to happen. So we're just going to have to hope for the best, guys. We're going to have to hope for the best and see what happens. Yeah, he wasn't the only one, but yeah, he was poor last night. If we lose against Arsenal, let's not move too far ahead of ourselves here. We've got Arsenal, then we've got Noah, so we've got United, then we've got Noah, and then we've got Arsenal. So let's not start jumping to conclusions before we've got there. But it wouldn't have been easy to win even with Ten Hag there. No matter how badly he's done, it's it's a really tricky place to go. A really tricky place to go. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. I'm a little bit concerned, just given our record there and given how we just never ever seem to win at that ground. But let's hope that can change. I've noticed huge pessimism in our fan base lately that I don't understand. Yeah, I hear you. It's not doom and gloom that we're at the Carabao Cup, no. But I think people are well within their rights to be annoyed at how we disrespected it last night. Well within our rights to be annoyed about it. We should win conference at least its Euro Cup coefficient. Fifth place in the Champions League. Yeah, fifth place could get the league, could get Champions League as well. Missing out on Maresca feels gutting right now, not just because he's scoring goals for fun, but because we have now Felix being forced into the 10 behind Nkunku. Yeah, look, Maresca at the time I was unsure, wasn't really keen for it, but clearly, he's got a bit about him. He's got a bit about him. So yeah, maybe we may well have done with someone like an Omar. We could well have done with him, bro. You can't seriously think that. Why? That's such a loser mentality. Why would you rather finish fourth than have a trophy? Chelsea should be winning trophies. Top four is not a trophy. Yes, we all want to be in the Champions League, but as fans, we want to be celebrating the days out and the team winning trophies. I'm not celebrating top four. Top four is a minimum expectation. It's about winning trophies at the end of the day for me. People don't want to approach Wembley because lost many finals there, or afraid to go at Old Trafford, face a dead Man U team because of the record there. Yeah. We haven't won there in over 11 years. We need this win on the back of this. Yeah, we absolutely do, Ted. We absolutely need this win. 100% we need this win. Me too, I'm concerned. I want it to be proven wrong on Sunday. Let's hope so. Yeah, bro, whenever you say anything from that Fisher's net, whatever it's called, load of bollocks. Nothing that comes from there is got any semblance of truth in it whatsoever. So yeah, I would anyone that's quoting that's not a serious source at all. Not a serious source at all. But yeah, look, in terms of other talking points, I think maybe the B team isn't quite as good as what people think it is. We're still conceding horrible goals, which are at this level, guys. It is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Particularly on a game like that where you've travelled so far in a midweek. It's just a basic error on both fronts. And what we need to do, is sign a top class goalkeeper and a top class centre back. Because look at Liverpool, for example, under Jurgen Klopp, right? They were a bit all over the place in his first season, but then I think, was it second season, or certainly within the next 12 months or 24, within the next sort of year or so, So within the next 2 years, they then signed Van Dijk and they signed Alisson, and it completely transformed them. Why Chelsea? Why Chelsea, with all the money spent, have not signed a top class goalkeeper and a commanding centre half of the highest caliber is utterly beyond me. It's the two positions that we so obviously need to improve in, and yet over the summer nothing was done about it. Nothing was done about either position. We replaced Thiago Silva by signing Tosin on a free, and then we brought in another young goalkeeper in Jorgensen, who we don't really have any idea how good he's going to be at all. So yeah, this is something that I can't get my head around, but it's something that needs to be addressed, because it's a position that absolutely can transform this team. And we're having a different conversation, by the way, about this team if we've got a top class goalkeeper and a top quality centre back. If you had like an Alisson and a Van Dijk in this team, we're like the team is complete. We're really not missing much, but what we are missing is quality in two key positions on the pitch. And unfortunately, until that's addressed, not an awful lot is going to change. There's a ceiling on how much you can achieve and how far you can go when you've got a bang average goalkeeper and you're really shaky at the back. There's only so far that you're going to be able to go. Guys, 51 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. We need 7 more likes to hit that 50 likes mark. So if we could do that, it would be amazing. It would be greatly appreciated. So please do run these likes up, guys. There's more than enough people in here to hit 50 likes. We need 6 more now as well. Expect that should be done in the next 30 seconds, guys. Next minute. Shouldn't even be a debate. Shouldn't even be a debate, guys. So let's make sure that we are let's make sure we're getting that done. Let's make sure we are getting that done. So yeah, keep running it up, guys. Keep running it up. Maybe the owners want to repeat the Palmer situation over. That's not the Palmer situation is one in very, very few. That's very rarely going to happen. And we know that. But look, in terms of kind of players from last night, I mean, Joao Felix has come in for quite a lot of stick. I took a bit of stick as well for something that I put out about him. Let me find it. Let me bring it up on screen now. Said all summer signing Joao Felix was a mistake, and he's done nothing to prove otherwise. We never wanted him in the first place and purely signed him to get rid of Gallagher. Needs to start delivering because he's offered nothing this season. Please prove me wrong. And I think that's fair. And that's not me singling him out as the only one that had a bad game. But I was told in the summer that Felix is a great player. Charlie, you're so wrong on this. He's amazing. He's world class. He's this, he's that. And yet I maintained all along, he's nowhere near as good as what people think he is. The idea of him is totally different to the reality of him. And he hasn't produced anything yet in a Chelsea shirt. He's done nothing for us this season so far. And I know that he's played just over 100 odd minutes in the league, and it's difficult to make an impact. But I'm looking at this, and I said in the summer, why are we signing this guy? Like, what's he bringing to this? What does he bring to the team that we don't already have in other players? And the answer to that is nothing. And we should have had Omorodi on instead of Felix. No, there was a reason why no one wanted Felix in the summer. There's a reason why no one wanted Felix in the summer. And yes, he's a squad player. He's not a starter, but in these games, when you need these players to step up, and for someone who so many fans have said to me, "Oh, this guy's great. He's world class. He's this, he's that." I was getting told I was wrong in the summer. Why are you hating on Felix? He's going to be really good for us. Well, so far, the case is that Felix has been trash for us. He's not done anything. And people will say, "Oh yeah, but he scored 2 goals against Panathinaikos in the Conference League." If you're spending £45 million on a player, and you got people celebrating scoring 2 goals against Panathinaikos in the Conference League, is a mad one. It's I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. It's annoying. And look, it's not about I was right, you were wrong, but I want to be proven wrong. But right now, everything that I said in the summer about Felix is being proven to be correct. It's being proven to be correct. But yeah, it is what it is. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Yeah, Nkunku was poor as well. No doubt about it. He wasn't great either. And yeah, look, not everyone's going to play well all the time, and it was just a collective disaster all round. But in these games, when you're playing, your rotation options and you're giving people minutes, it's really important that the more senior players, people like a Felix, like an Nkunku, kind of step up and deliver. And that quite simply didn't happen. And I just feel like it was a pointless signing, Felix. I really, really do. I hope that he proves me wrong. I hope that he gets more opportunities and that he starts to deliver. But I think I'm being proven right so far in what I've said. I think I'm being proven right in what I'm saying so far. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one, no doubt about it. But I don't know what I don't really know what the outcome of this is going to be. Nkunku was meant to be the saver, but unfortunately, injuries have absolutely killed his confidence. Let's wait and see. I mean, look, Nkunku's not been great either. This is his second season. Last season was his first season here, and he virtually missed all of it through injury. Give players time. Absolutely, Cucurella is a prime example of that. And I'm not writing Felix off. But the problem we've got with Felix is there's a large body of work which suggests that this guy doesn't really make an impact anywhere he goes, and that in itself is of concern. Absolutely, of concern. That sort of thing. Guys, we're 5 likes away from 50, so please keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and I would really appreciate it, guys. Let's get this to 50 likes. Come on. Let's get it done, guys. It's literally 5 likes. There's definitely 5 people who haven't done it, so we just need to do it, people. My opinion, Joao Felix need to be given time, just like how Noni Madueke last season. Must be just my circle of Chelsea fans, but everyone I know would take a top 4 finish and get. Yeah, bro. Not for me. I want to win trophies. That's what it's about at the end of the day for me. It's about winning trophies. I want to be in the Champions League, but if someone said you can have an FA Cup or you can have a 4th place finish, I'd rather have the FA Cup. But the reality is, you can do both. It doesn't need to be one or the other. You don't need to sacrifice cup competitions in order to finish in the top 4. That doesn't need to be. That doesn't need to be the case. That really doesn't need to be the case at all, guys. So, yeah, it is going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping that we'll win the Conference League, and I'm hoping that the FA Cup we're going to treat that with a bit more respect. Yes, but bro, he scored against Barrow, Ghent, and Panathinaikos and Servette. He's not like in the games that matter. He hasn't really. I know he's not had that many opportunities, but he's not really stepped up and delivered either. So, yeah, that in itself is also slightly problematic. But look, Nkunku needs to do better. Felix needs to do better. Enzo Fernandez needs to do better. Although it's interesting that a lot of people are going in on Enzo last night, but then the same people are also saying they also said they didn't care about last night, but they got plenty to say about Enzo. So, yeah, which is it? Which is it? It's very simple. Which is it? You're either bothered about last night or you're not. Don't say you're not bothered and then start scapegoating players because you want interactions and shit. He was poor last night. He was poor last night, and last night was the exact reason why why Jackson plays over him in the Premier League every single week. The only thing Nkunku's got over Jackson is he's a better finisher. But Jackson's finishing is improving now. It's not. I'll be honest. It is night and day between Jackson and Nkunku in terms of what each offers the team. And I never thought when we signed Jackson and when we signed Nkunku that I would be saying that. But that is the that I'd be saying that, but that is the reality of the situation that we find ourselves in right now with this, guys. That's the reality of the situation. I don't know what the answers are. I don't know. I just don't know. But that's where we are right now. Felix has got time to step up. Of course he does. I don't see him getting very many opportunities in the Premier League, to be perfectly honest, because he's not made the most of the opportunities that have been handed to him in the cup. But it is what it is. It is what it is. If Palmer was put in Felix's position, he wouldn't do better because the midfield had no natural midfielder but Enzo. Look, Palmer would have done better than Felix last night. He would have done. No, we're not judging on last night, yes, but generally speaking, we're not judging him on that. And generally speaking, he's had probably one good performance, and that was against Panathinaikos. So yeah, that's what it is. Needs to step up, needs to do more. And Nkunku needs to step up and needs to do more. Like a lot of those players that played last night, they all need to do more. I have, but Tchouaméni is a key part of Real Madrid's plans, particularly when Luka Modric retires, probably at the end of this season. You would imagine. So yeah, for me, I don't see any chances of Chelsea signing Tchouaméni from Real Madrid. I don't see any chance of that at all. If Nkunku was faster than Jackson, he would start for us week in, week out. He doesn't make any runs in behind. He doesn't run in behind at all. He doesn't run channels. He doesn't really make life difficult for defenders. And yeah, that's why Jackson plays ahead of him. Yeah, but he needs to do. There's a reason why he's not playing in the Premier League, because he's not doing enough. And then when he does get a chance and whatever, other than when he scored against Wolves, he hasn't really done anything. He's done nothing. So yeah, look, maybe I've been a bit harsh. I don't know, but I do stand by the fact that Felix hasn't done enough. I absolutely stand by that fact that he's not done enough. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but yeah, it's the whole thing is just disappointing on so many levels. So many levels. The whole thing's disappointed. So yeah, I don't know. It just means we have to win on Sunday. It just means we have to win on Sunday. Yeah, and when he has played, he's not done enough. Like Nkunku at the end of the day. People are telling me that Felix is this amazing player, and I'm yet to see it. Well, let's hope so. But again, I'm still waiting to see that. I am still waiting to see that. Guys, let's try and get this to 60 likes. It's 9 more likes. I'm going to run this for about another 5 minutes or so. So let's try and do it. Let's try and get it done. Let's try and get that done, guys. Run it up, run it up, run it up. No players on the B team are making a case for themselves. No one is. But you turn to your more experienced players, and he is one of those in that B team. And he's not been good enough. Nkunku wasn't good enough. Enzo Fernandez wasn't good enough. Yes, big up, brother. Where though? Where's Nkunku going to get more minutes? Because he's not offering more than Jackson. He's not going to offer more than Cole Palmer, and he's not going to play wide because he's not a winger. So what are we doing on that one? Vega in midfield, I'm still not convinced about it. I think he's much better at left back. Yes, he can play in midfield, but I think he's a lot better in that left back inverting into midfield, or even at centre back. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But yeah, Maresca playing multiple people out of position last night really didn't help. Nothing went to plan, and we have to hope that this was worth it by winning on Sunday. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Matrix, big up, brother. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night, bro. Yeah. Yeah, but then that makes the signing of oh, why isn't that showing on the thing now? Oh, why aren't these showing? That kind of just makes the signing of Felix pointless, then, doesn't it? Which maybe it was. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Felix. People know my thoughts on Felix from the summer. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is on that one, unfortunately. But yeah, let's see what happens. Well, if fifth gets Champions League, I'll take fifth in the FA Cup. I'll take FA Cup and fifth place finish. And fifth might get Champions League this year anyway. But I'd take the FA Cup and finishing fifth, because winning trophy is really important for us. Really important for us. So yeah, that'll be my views. But look, we should be doing both. We should be doing both. It's as simple as that. We should be doing both. There's no excuses not to. There's no excuse not to finish. There's no excuses not to, guys. No excuses not to. We must, and it's as simple as that. We absolutely must, guys. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one, but at the same time, we're gonna have to wait and see how it pans out. We're gonna have to wait and see how it pans out. A lot of those B team players made a case to be in the C team. Look, yeah, no one covered themselves in glory last night. No, absolutely correct. No one covered themselves in glory last night. We know that. We know that. Look, I think it's a bit unfair to question the depth after one performance, but certainly it goes to show that we can't be making that level of changes against decent opposition like Newcastle. I think what it's proven is, against top half Premier League teams, we cannot be making 11 changes and thinking that we're going to get away with it. That's what we absolutely can't do. That is what we absolutely cannot do. I'm not questioning the depth as of yet, but what is clear is that the depth's not good enough to make 11 changes against a Premier League, a decent Premier League side. I think we all know that the Conference League sides are no great shakes. I think we know that they're not good. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, look, we got Noah in the Conference League next. We'll no doubt be saying, oh, this B team's amazing, isn't it? But yesterday was humbling, and yesterday was a wake-up call. It was a reality check. It was a realization that, the squad depth maybe isn't quite as good as what we think it is. And it was just a number of things. But overall, it was a really disappointing evening. I was disappointed in Maresca. I was disappointed in the players. And I'm disappointed to see, a lot of Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter," don't care about that trophy. That at the end of the day, this is not gonna. We're not gonna look back on this defeat this season and think, "Oh, that's ruined our season." But we should be taking the trophy seriously. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do is take trophies seriously. Simple as that. So let's hope that that's the case. That's the case. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. But yes. Any further questions in the chat, guys? Yeah, 100%. It is. Yeah, you can only do that in the Conference League and against like League One or League Two teams in the Carabao. I wouldn't feel confident about making 11 changes against a Championship side, to be perfectly honest. I really wouldn't. Yeah, the individual mistakes are costing us, but even then, we probably still wouldn't have won that game last night without those mistakes. It probably would have been a draw, and we go to we go to penalties. Something along those lines. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Neto will start on Sunday because Sancho's ineligible because of his loan from United. So yeah, Neto will start on Sunday for sure. It'll be Neto, Madueke, Jackson, and Palmer, I think, as a front four. This is exactly it, and this is a very simple thing, but yet so many people seemingly aren't processing that. Given where we are, and the fact we've won no domestic trophy since 2018, we've won no trophy for 3 years. Quite how people think it's okay to just disregard another trophy is beyond me, and how people think it's an overreaction to be pissed off by the fact that we've just thrown a trophy. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Yes, I would. But last night didn't particularly fill me with a great deal of confidence about him either. So yeah, it's tricky. It is tricky, guys. 5 more likes to 60, by the way, people. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm probably going to round this one out here. Not the best of numbers tonight, but every single person tuning in is greatly appreciated as always. Guys, make sure you are smashing that like button on the way out. 5 more likes to 60. Let's get this to 60 on the way out. So please smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe if you are new around here. Make sure you check out the match day vlog on the channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with some Man United preview stuff, Friday and Saturday. So make sure you stay locked in for that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, up the Chelsea. Please smash the likes on the way out. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And we will catch you again in another one tomorrow. Love, people.